So it got to the point where we had lunch period together, and she would come up to me and be like, can I borrow the barb chain? And I was just like, fine, leave me alone, fine. I'm so stupid. I'm literally dumb. I'm the dumbest girl ever. I take my paper and I put it in the shared teams thing with my group, okay? Hey, besties! So, I'm back. I'm better than ever. I need to take a week off from my mental health because last week I was literally down in the dumps. Like, all week I was like, I'm the worst human known to man. If you know me, you know I am the biggest people pleaser. And so last week a lot of things came up in my life, in my head, that like very much told me like you need to tell someone how much of a people pleaser you are. So today I'm gonna be like trauma dumping, or just I'm gonna dump a bunch of stuff on you and you guys will figure it out and let me know what you think of my life. I went to a therapist for a little bit when I went to Penn State, the college, Penn State, and I was always telling them, like the therapist, I would be like, hey girl, like what is wrong with me? And she's like, I can't actually diagnose you, but if I were to diagnose you, she said that I had OCD and like severe, like I needed to conform to what someone wanted me to be, and I also had anxiety that someone wouldn't like me if I didn't please whatever they wanted. So in my relationship now, I drastically have changed in the past couple years where I'm able to say, no, I don't want to do that because I need to focus on myself. So it made our relationship so much better. But I'm going to talk about times in my life in general where being a people pleaser almost got me beat up, messed up. Like, I have been through so much, and this isn't even all of my stories. So the first one, we're going to start so young. When I was in second grade, yeah, I went to the school and they had this mascot, and it was like a lion, right? And the mascot, it was like the like AR was the school. I can't say the full name, but the AR Lions. So I was always like, okay, the AR Lions, I love them. This is so cute. And I've always been about my schools. Like, if you know this, I'm Penn State alum, and then I'm going to get my master's from Georgia Tech. So I've always been like, I need to have something of that school. And I literally told Tyler the other day, I'm like, I want a Georgia Tech hoodie. And he's like, don't get it until you actually graduate, because if you don't finish your master's, aren't you going to feel bad? I'm like, no. I represent someone so hard, and that's why I think one day I need like merch, because I would wear my merch every day, to the point I wear Penn State, I'd say 4 out of 5 weekdays when I'm working. I literally wear this while I work, and this is a Christmas Penn State sweater because I work from home, so like nobody sees this, and when they do, they usually call me like the Penn State girl or like Penn State girl. Like, everyone calls me something related to whatever I like. For the longest time it was Baby Yoda, and that's the thing, is I literally become obsessed with a person, a thing, and she said that is part of like the OCD tendencies. I become obsessive and compulsive, and I feel, sometimes I'll feel like if I don't do something, something bad will happen, or if I don't, and that has been since I was younger. So I remember there was this girl named Brittany, and Brittany was super sweet and super nice, but she was like the top popular girl. And my mom had given me money to get this, it was like a fundraiser, and whenever you did the fundraiser, the more you got, the better your prize was. So my mom had brought the fundraiser to work, and the fundraiser, I made so much money, so I ended up getting a bracelet. And I remember this bracelet was like silver, which I've always loved silver, but it was silver, and it had like all of these little paws all over it because the mascot was a lion, so it's all of these paws. And I'm just chilling in class, and I'm wearing this little paw bracelet, and I hear Brittany telling all the other girls how much she wants this paw bracelet. And I'm like, oh my god, now is my chance to become popular. Now is my chance. Okay. No, I literally was talking to her, and I'm like, oh my god, I have the paw bracelet, like, oh my god. And so Brittany goes, can I borrow the paw bracelet from you? And obviously my younger like tendencies of wanting to like people please, I'm like, yeah, of course, you can take it, here you go. And I'm like handing this girl my bracelet, and I remember it just meant so much to me, this bracelet, because I didn't usually raise that much for fundraisers growing up. Like, if I did, I think that was one of the 1 years where I got the most. There was another like cookie dough or like like Victoria's Candies one where I had so much money. But this is one of the first ones where I was like, oh my god, people actually bought from me. I got this bracelet. So I'm wearing this little paw bracelet. I give it to Brittany. Brittany has it. And, you know, she's doing perfectly fine. But then she starts telling the girls, she's like, I'm going to take it from her. And I'm like, oh, my God. Like, I didn't hear this, but one of the girls came over, Nicolina, I think her name was, came over and told me, like, Brittany's going to steal your bracelet. And I was like, oh, my God, what do I do? So I asked Brittany for the bracelet back. Conveniently, as she's pulling it off, and it's like one of those elastic ones with, like, beads and the little paws around it, she goes like this and the whole thing snaps. And I know in my head now that I'm an adult, she did that on purpose. I truly believe that she did that on purpose because she was like smiling. And I literally remember this now as an adult, and I'm like, she must have broken that on purpose because my younger self was just like, no. Like, I really love that bracelet. So that was one of the first times where I was like, I need to stop this, but I can't stop. And it goes all the way throughout to college, to the point of college. So that was middle school. I'll take you into an example in high school of the same thing. It was more like junior high, like 8th grade. I'm sitting there at lunch, and I used to have this chain, and the chain used to say Barbie on it. And if you don't know, Nicki Minaj was really big. Like, Super Bass in 8th grade was like, oh my gosh, everyone knew Super Bass. My mom bought me the Barbie chain from Nicki. I'm a Barb. I've always been a Barb.
Are you a Nicki fan?
What? Am I a Nicki fan?
And my mom bought me a Nicki Minaj beanie that said Barbie on it. I was into Nicki Minaj. Like, literally, that TikTok where it's like, are you a Nicki fan? That was me. I'm a Nicki fan. Like, I've been a Nicki fan since the day that I was born. I've been a Nicki fan. I remember watching Nicki Minaj's first videos on the block of Queens, New York. Like, I'm from Queens. I remember watching those videos growing up. Love Nicki. But at the time, my mom bought me all this Nicki Minaj merch, and everyone was into it. So this girl, Chanelise, I think her name was, she was new to the school, right? She was new to the school. And she was from, like, straight from the Bronx, I think, like, from New York. And if you don't know, I'm from Queens, and I always have been told you don't have a New York mentality. I'm too nice, right? Well, this girl, she, like, comes over, and she's like, I love your Barbie chain. Can I borrow it? And I'm like, no, I'm sorry. Like, I finally got the courage to say no. But then she kept on, like, every class period. I remember, we had, like, 4 or 3 classes in a day. Honestly, it might have been more. 5, maybe it was like a rotating schedule, but I had like 3 out of the 5 classes with her, and she would not shut up. So it got to the point where we had lunch period together, and she would come up to me and be like, can I borrow the Barb chain? And I was just like, fine, leave me alone, fine. So I give this girl my Barbie chain or whatever, and my friend Caitlin at the time, really good friend throughout like all of elementary, middle school, she's like, why would you let her borrow that? You know she's gonna take it. And I'm like, no, she's not. She's like, she literally just told people in the bathroom that she's gonna rob it from you. So I don't know what came into me, but I'm like, I'm gonna go up to her and I'm gonna ask for it back. So I go up to her and I'm like, someone told me, I didn't say her name, Caitlin's name, because I didn't want her to get mad. And I'm like, some girl told me that she heard you saying in the bathroom and in the lunchroom that you were gonna take my chain. And mind you, I was terrified of this girl. I was like 5 foot 90 pounds, and she must have been like 5'6", 130 pounds. I remember she was like a triple D at like 8th grade, and I was still in an A cup. Like, I was barely formed. So going up to her was like, I was terrified. So she's like, I was gonna take it from you, but because you're so sweet and you're so cute, I'm gonna give it back. So she gave it back, and I was like, oh, thank the Lord. But then I heard from a bunch of people that she said she was going to take it from me from my desk, because we used to leave our stuff in our desk, and we had like a little compartment under the desk, so you would leave your stuff in there, and like your pencil case and your stuff throughout the day, and then you would come back to your homeroom at the end of the day to leave for your bus. So you would just stuff your desk. So she said she was going to take it from my desk when I wasn't looking or when I wasn't there. So I'm like, duh, the answer is just bring it home. So I brought it home every day. I would like literally polish this Barbie chain and put it on my dresser every day, and she never stole it. So girl said she was gonna rob me. She never robbed me. At least that didn't work out. But this next one, he really got me good, okay? I was gonna tell, I was in between what should I talk about in college because I have so many stories. Like the time I let someone borrow $400 when I barely had money, because I felt bad and because I'm a people pleaser and can never say no. But I decided, I was like, I'm not gonna tell that story because that one's a little bit too much. Like, I can't tell that story right now. I'll tell that one in the future when I'm over it. I'm still not over that. It's still like a lot of people ask me for money in my life and I just can't say no. And I stopped. Now I have to say no. I'm like, I'm sorry, I cannot give you my money. Like, I can't. Like, I will go broke giving people my money. And it's the people pleaser in me. But this one is crazy. So we had this group project and we had this economics. I'll set the stage for you. So I'm a freshman in college. This is my second semester, I believe. So my second semester in college. I'm a business major. If you don't know, I graduated with a degree in IT. So I moved from business my freshman year to IT my sophomore year. So I'm in transitioning of leaving this business major. I was an HR major. Well, a management major with a minor in HR. So we had to take economics, lots of economics. So I had a lot of classes with this guy, and we're gonna call him Steeler. Okay, Steeler. And so Steeler decides that he is going to sit next to me in like a lot of the classes. So I don't know why, like maybe he thought I was smart or maybe he liked me, I don't know, but I always told him about my boyfriend, Tyler. We've been together forever. And he'd be like, oh, that's cool. Like, you have a boyfriend, that's cool. And he was actually really nice to Tyler. Like, whenever he would see Tyler, he would be like, what's up? So I thought we were, like, friends. Like, I thought all of us were, like, friends, right? No. Apparently, I'm wrong. He is, like, talking to my friends. He's saying how cool we are. And it wasn't just me. He was talking to multiple people that I know from high school. Like, we all started talking to this guy. And so we in economics class, our teacher Victor was from Uganda or something, so his accent was very thick and sometimes you wouldn't understand what he was saying, and that's perfectly fine because I would go up after class and I had a really good relationship with Victor. I would talk to him, I would ask him where he's from. I know that he moved closer to our school to be an educator and that he really liked teaching, so he was a good teacher, and people just didn't like the fact that he had an accent, which is so stupid, and people would say that they couldn't understand him. So we pull up to this class and this kid sits next to me, this other kid from high school sits next to me, and then two other people. I don't remember who they were, sorry, I don't. It was like a girl and a boy and another three other people, 6 of us, I think. And we make this group chat because Victor appoints us to be a group. And I took it upon myself to often be the person that people go to. And I've always led this role in any school project. You can ask anyone. I'm the person at 11 o'clock before it's due. Do we have this? Why didn't you do your part? Oh, I've always been that person. So I'm texting them being like, we have to do this, we have to do that, we have to do this, we have to do that. And this Steeler kid, we go to class the next day and our teacher assigned something, and he's saying that it's a group project for the first week, and the second week is going to be a project that you submit or whatever, and it's your own, but you can discuss your topics amongst your group and you can get an understanding from your group members. So I'm like, okay, bet, I'm gonna take mine. I'm so stupid. I'm literally dumb. I'm the dumbest girl ever. I take my paper and I put it in the shared Teams thing with my group, okay? So they can all see my paper, okay? Which I didn't know. Listen, guys, if you do this in college, it's wrong. It's called facilitating cheating, facilitating plagiarism. You are literally putting your paper on a platter for them to steal and turn in, okay? I didn't know this. So he's asking me about my paper, this C guy. He's texting me, he's like, yo, can you tell me about the paper? What are you doing? What's your topic? And I was so busy. I was working at Starbucks. I remember it was like 11 o'clock at night. So I'm working at Starbucks. I send him a text message. I'm like, hey, I'm at work. You can take a look at mine. It's in our Teams, but please, like, don't use the same topic. Like, use your own topic. And I didn't tell him to copy me. I didn't tell him to steal my topic. I didn't tell him nothing. I didn't tell him to do that, okay? If I was actually facilitating plagiarism, I never cheated. Like, I never cheated. If you knew this about me early on in college, the year before, like senior year in high school, there's this thing for Penn State called the Alex test. Everyone cheats on the Alex. I didn't. I didn't even know, like, people use a calculator. You're not supposed to. I'm sitting there with my little notebook going 10 times 2. Like, I'm so dumb, like, when it comes to stuff like that. Everyone else apparently cheated. I didn't know this. I didn't, and I got in the lowest math, and we were from a STEM school, so I looked so dumb. So I didn't cheat, okay? If you know me, you know this had me stressed out. I was stressing. I'm sweating right now thinking of it. I'm literally beads of sweat down my face. So cheater, stealer, whatever he is, stealer, takes my paper, copies it, pastes it into his Word document, changes the name to his own name, okay? He changes the name to his name. He did not tell me he submitted my paper. He did not tell me he cheated. He did not tell me any of that, okay? He's also apparently on the basketball team, and all he cared about apparently was basketball, because 2-3 days later, our professor sends us a joint message. Guess what this message said? Guess what this message said? It said, "Hey everyone in this group. Hey Cassie. Hey Steeler. You guys submitted the exact same assignment. And I want to know what's going on here. Who cheated? What's happening? Why are you cheating?" And he sends me a direct message separately, this professor, Victor, and goes, "You have a track record of having all A's in this class. Why did you cheat?" Like, he obviously was in like little, he couldn't understand how and why. He was like, "You are so smart. I don't understand why you would cheat." And I'm like, "I didn't cheat. What are you talking about?" Like, I'm messaging the professor. I'm like, "I don't know. I had my document in the Teams. I was working. I did not tell him to copy me. I did not provide him, like, saying, take this. No, I never would do that." And he's like, "See me in my office." So I was like, "I cannot see you during your office hours, but I will try and make it during lunch to see you after your first class." So this kid texts me, he's like, I'm sorry, I didn't know I cheated, I didn't know. Basketball is so important to me. If I couldn't do basketball, I will literally cry, I will die. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I wonder if I could, I wish I could pull up the messages. But he was literally acting like he did nothing and it was my fault. And so I'm like, I never cheat, I never do any of this. What are you doing? Okay, and now this story gets juicier. This story gets so juicy because literally, okay, he goes to the teacher, he's crying, whatever. The teacher says, I'm only gonna submit a warning, which is good because it's like only a warning on our records. But Cassidy will only get her full grade dropped by a letter. So I had an A to finish off, but I got mine dropped to a B. Okay, that was my first B. I would have had a 4.0 GPA. I'm not even lying to you. I had a 3.9 something because of this when I graduated. I would have been, there's like that magna cum laude thing. I would have been summa or whatever, the top one, if I had not had this happen. Yep. I would have been higher than I was. Like, I literally graduated top of my class in my branch campus, top with the cords and everything, and I got awards for having the highest GPA out of all the people in my major. I literally would have been at the top because of this. And so I'm like, I don't even know what's happening. Why would you do this? And so it was like a simple thing, and it was pretty easy, but it makes me so upset because it hindered me in college, and I'm never gonna let anyone see anything in my master's. Nobody's like looking at my paper ever. Even now, after that, like sophomore year of college, I never let anyone see my stuff. I was like, nope, you do your own work, I'll do mine. I would make up the craziest excuses so someone could not see my work. I would be like, oh, my computer just turned off, because I was terrified of someone cheating off of me. Now, remember that kid? Remember the confidence that he had to ask me for my paper and all that? Yeah, it doesn't go away, buddy. It doesn't go away, okay? Guess what? We're taking the final in that class. We're taking the final. And I walk in. I never talk to him after that. Never. He sits down 2 seats next to me because we had to sit 2 seats apart. And guess what he says? He looks at me before the exam and goes, "Can you help me out?" When I tell you my neck snapped, I went, with what? And he's like, with the exam, can you help me out? Like, just put your paper on the corner of your desk. And I was like, no, sorry, I can't do that. And then I took the whole exam like this. Like, okay, I'm right-handed, so I took the whole exam covering my paper like this. And when I turned it over and there was still answers on the back and I turned it in, I put my hand on the exam like this, covering all of the answers, because it was like a Scantron, like A, B, C thing. So I put my hand over the answers. Done. So yeah, that's the story about people who literally took my niceness and ran with it and thought they could take advantage of me. Let me know if you guys have any similar stories or if you've ever been through something like this. But I really, really appreciate you guys watching, and I want to let you guys know I split out my true crime stories onto a different channel. It's going to be at Crime with Cass on YouTube, or Crime with Cass on YouTube. And then this Cass haul is just going to be for vlogs, story times, and more personal endeavors and challenges and things like that. Just because I didn't want to have my mukbangs and stuff associated with my true crime. I really want to have them separate, and I really like storytelling and talking about these things, like morbid things and oddities, but I wanted to have its own outlet for it. So Crime with Cass, true crime, nonfiction crime, mysteries, all of that. And then Cass haul, vlogs, fun, little story times, all of that. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you, besties. And we hit 320. We were only supposed to hit 310 this month. I'm just so happy. But thank you guys. Bye.